Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to give you your February 2016 readings. These are general readings, so they may not apply or resonate the same with everyone who watches them. If they don't, I suggest you check your rising and your moon sign as well. I continue to use the Gilded Tarot deck, drawing 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week, with an additional card as the overall theme and general feeling of the month. A special thank you to those of you who have allowed me to do personal readings for you and who have been keeping me so very busy these last couple of months. It has been an honor and a pleasure to do so, so thank you very much for that. And a continued thank you to those of you who watch and listen and subscribe to my channel. Your feedback and your comments have been very positive and very appreciated by myself, so thank you for that. For those of you who are interested in personal readings, you can click on the About sign on my channel's homepage, and that will give you a little more detail about myself, the services I offer, and my contact information, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I am running a variety of specials on love readings for the month of February, as it is a month that has the holiday of Valentine's Day, and we do tend to focus a little more on relationships for this month. So if you're interested in that, just send me an email and we'll go from there. I hope to get all the rest of the videos for February out by February 1st, as I am recording them in the last week of January. I'm also in the middle of a move, and that is wrapping up this weekend, so I will have a new background for the mid-month readings. So I hope to get them all out on time or around February 1st. So thank you for your patience. So let's get right into this. This reading is for Cancer for February 2016. My lovely water signs of Cancer, my emotional intuitive crab. What does the month of February 2016 hold for you? Cancer, February 2016. Okay. For the first week, we have the Ace of Swords, followed by the Eight of Swords. For the second week, we have the Queen of Pentacles, followed by the Four of Wands. For the third week, we have the Six of Cups, followed by the Four of Pentacles. And for the fourth week, we have the Sun, followed by the Queen of Wands. And as your overall themed general feeling of the month, the card from the bottom of the deck is the Six of Swords. So let me take a look at this, Cancer. Okay, we begin. Now, of course, I like to remind everyone that the timeline of the cards is not clearly definitive in beginning and ending. So this could very well be something that begins towards the end of January, as I'm recording this in the last week of January, through February and a little into March as well. So we begin with the Ace of Swords, followed by the Eight of Swords. Now, swords is a suit, the element is that of air, and swords is a suit that points towards our thoughts, our ways of thinking, our ideas, our perspectives, our reasoning, our logic. It's a very mental and cerebral suit. Swords are also one of the universal symbols of truth as well. The Ace of Swords, aces represent new beginnings, the potential and the promise of things to come, seeds, if you will. Now, seeds still have to be planted and nurtured and watered so they can grow to fruition. But the Ace of Swords can represent, it represents success, and it represents success in a fairly swift and profound way. It can also represent an illumination, a bringing of truth, the beginning of a shift of ideas and perspectives, the way that we think. The Ace of Swords primarily represents, again, success. I feel like for more than half of you, this is going to represent success over something, and it looks like it's something to do with your thoughts, your thought patterns, the way that you look at something, or a belief system that you've been holding for some time. It is accompanied by the Eight of Swords as well, another swords card. The Eight of Swords is a card of primarily of being held hostage by our own thoughts. This shows a woman who is surrounded by 8 swords, and the implication being the swords represent can represent different ideas, or each represent a different thought pattern or a way of thinking that we have, a way of looking at something. And she's pretty much held hostage. She's completely encircled in this ring of swords. She is blindfolded and she has chains wrapped around her wrists. However, if you look closely at this card, you can see that those chains that are wrapped around her wrists are not actually attached to anything. With a twist of her hand, those chains could fall off and she could remove that blindfold herself, which points towards a very strong theme of complicity and compliance and willingness in this. Whoever, even if it was, regardless of whether it was yourself or somebody else who originally put these chains on you and the blindfold on you, you are able to remove these yourself and look at something. This card represents an unwillingness or a fear of unchaining yourself, because when you look at the truth of what's around you, there's something about it that you have concern, anxiety, or fear about actually seeing. Now, this pairing, it is, however, paired with the Ace of Swords, and it's a very successful pairing, I think. The Ace of Swords paired with the Eight of Swords, I believe for a large portion of you, of course, it could resonate differently depending on which cancers are watching. You are all different and unique. But the Ace of Swords with the Eight of Swords represents, I think, for more than half of you, a very successful, a swift and profound success over something that has been holding you hostage in terms of a thought pattern, a way of looking at something, or a belief system that you've held for quite some time. I actually think that, to me, this read Cancer for the month of February is actually relationship oriented, and I'm seeing some reconciliation energy in here as well. And I feel like with this Eight of Swords and this Ace of Swords and Eight of Swords, that a particular relationship from the past or someone from the past. This could also be somebody in your sphere now, or just somebody, a relationship that you have in which there has been a lot of conflict and it's been going on for some time, kind of back and forth. For others of you, this is going to represent a relationship from the past that you had, and you were just kind of stuck in a way of looking at it, stuck in a way of thinking, or the reason why you broke up or there's been so much conflict has been because of a set of beliefs you had, a way of looking at either the person or the relationship in whole, or relationships as a whole. And it's been something that hasn't served you very well. And I feel like it's something you've been struggling with for a time. But the Ace of Swords over this Eight of Swords represents you're finally having some kind of breakthrough. There's some kind of truth, illumination, some kind of knowledge that comes to you, whether it's something that springs up inside yourself, independent of an outside person, or somebody saying something. Something happens to cause a shift, and all of a sudden, this Ace of Swords comes in and cuts through things with startling clarity, and cuts away this old way of thinking, or this perspective you had, and brings everything into sharp focus, and you have some kind of breakthrough, some kind of success over what was holding you hostage or making you feel bound up in some way. Now, following that, we have the Queen of Pentacles, followed by the Four of Wands. Now, individually, these cards could resonate in a variety of different ways, but I think they mean something else, mean something different or something more combined, especially following these two Swords cards. But the Queen of Pentacles, Pentacles is, the element is that of earth, and Pentacles is a suit that points towards things in our physical, tangible world, most often like money, finances, resources, property, job, career, things that we can see and touch and feel. It's a very tangible sort of card. And the Queen of Pentacles, Queens being someone who, like the feminine counterpoint of Kings, somebody who has reached the mastery of their suit. This would be somebody who is very grounded, very practical. But the Queen of Pentacles is also very nurturing, a very motherly, almost earth mother sort of individual. This is somebody who's worked very hard all of their lives, and they could be somebody who has a fair amount of luxury or comfort in their physical, tangible world around them. Like with the King, the King of Pentacles has a very provider sort of feel to it. And the Queen of Pentacles does as well, but more in a motherly, sensual, nurturing sort of way. This is an individual who is great to seek advice from. This is somebody who manages her life and her home in a very stable and secure and just a lovely, nurturing sort of feeling off of it. Now, it's paired with the Four of Wands, which is a lovely card. It shows a man and a woman and a child in a ring of wands, and there's a wreath of flowers above them. It's a beautiful day. The Four of Wands speaks of a happiness and a celebration and a blessing or a success or a surprise that comes. It's very positive. It points towards something working out better than you had anticipated, but in an unexpected way, something that you didn't actually anticipate. And this card has an underlying feeling and theme of home harmony, of happiness and togetherness and an integration in a kind of a home foundation, a family foundation sort of way. But there's something about it. The Four of Wands speaks towards kind of an unseen, unexpected blessing, uh, something that comes, even if it's something that you're looking at that you think might be good or this might be nice if this happened, it actually ends up working out to be better than you had anticipated and just in a way that you hadn't expected. And I really feel like paired with this Queen of Pentacles, I feel like this Queen of Pentacles Cancer in the month of February 2016 or around there, this Queen of Pentacles is representing as an actual individual in your life. If it's not somebody that's in your sphere now, it's somebody from the past. I actually feel this is more of a past energy coming in and a reconciliation of some kind occurring. And I really feel like it's strongly connected to this Ace of Swords and Eight of Swords. I feel like there was some kind of breakthrough. And again, for the larger portion of you, I feel like it's you that's had this breakthrough, this complete shifting in perspective, and something that was holding you back or something that caused a relationship in the past to end or that's been causing a lot of conflict in a back and forth energy in a present relationship has something has shifted which has caused you to have a breakthrough. For I think for a smaller portion of you this could represent the other individual having that, but however side it resonates on, there's a I feel it coming back together from this Queen of Pentacles individual. Now, for those of you who are females watching, this could very well represent a man. Just because it came up as a queen doesn't necessarily mean that it's a female person. It just means that there's a slightly more feminine energy to it. This could also represent an earth sign in your life or from your past, earth signs being Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. But I feel like there's a reconciliation happening, and it's kind of unexpected. Or even if you're the person that had this shift and you reached out to this person to apologize or see if there's any chances or options, I actually think it ends up working out for you better, that the lines of communication are still open. I really feel like for a lot of you cancers watching this, there's going to be a reconciliation of some kind. And there might even be a culmination for some of you. This could be a breakthrough in thinking and ideas of moving a current relationship up a level. Perhaps there's been, I think I don't know why I'm picking up this message, but I'm getting something about moving in with each other, and there's been some kind of conflict about it or back and forth about it. Somebody wasn't ready to do that, or somebody had a way of looking at it as, I don't, why should we do that? It's not necessary. Something to do with that, but there's some kind of breakthrough, something occurs that causes a shift in that. And for some of you, this is going to mean the relationship moving up a notch and you guys actually moving in together. Um, and for others of you, this is going to be a reconciliation. It could also end up in moving in together again, too. But I definitely feel a reconciliation energy, whether it's someone from the past that a relationship has ended, or a current one that's been on and off due to conflict, or the breaking, or again, current relationship where there's been some kind of conflict or concerns about moving to the next level, but something occurs and it actually happens, and it's very, very positive. Now, moving in towards the third week of the month, we have the Six of Cups, followed by the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Six of Cups, Cups is a very emotional suit. The elements is out of water, and Cups is a suit that points towards love, our emotional inner and outer emotional landscape, relationships, how we relate to the people around us. The Six of Cups is a card that speaks of looking back, of reminiscence and nostalgia. It speaks of looking back towards a time perhaps where you felt things were easier or there was a sweet naivety and innocence about things. This can also represent a family for some of you. Perhaps you're reconnecting with family. And again, too, this reconciliation for some of you that's occurring, or someone from the past coming back, or a relationship that was broken being healed. This also could represent, it doesn't necessarily have to mean a romantic relationship or a love-based relationship in that way. It could be family as well with the Six of Cups here. It could be someone, a member of your family, or a very close friend, or something, family oriented, where a relationship was perhaps broken, or you were estranged from this person or a set of people for quite some time. But this reconciliation, this coming back together, this separation is over, and there's some kind of coming back together occurring, and it's a lovely card. It feels very innocent and sweet and naive. And for some of you, it's not necessarily naivety, but it just feels like a return back to times that were happier, whether it's reconnecting again with family member, or the renewal of a relationship that connects you with feelings that you had when the relationship was good in the past. And it's paired with the Four of Pentacles. Uh, Now, Pentacles, the element is that of Earth. We already went through that with the Queen of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles this is going to resonate a little bit differently for, again, depending on which Cancer is watching. But it's a card of holding on to something. It can represent a holding on too tightly of something, or a fear of letting go, or a fear of opening up. As you can see, this man is holding on to his four big, beautiful pentacles. And the implication being that he's afraid to let go, he's afraid to open his arms, he's afraid to share, to open up, because he's afraid if he does, he will lose what he has left, or that if he loses one of them, or if he drops any of them, he won't be able to bring them back. This can be a card of being too needy, of clinging on and holding on too tightly to something. But I'm not getting that negative a read on it with this coupling of the Six of Cups. For some of you, it can represent a holding on to the past in an unhealthy way. But I'm actually, I think the larger portion of you, I'm not picking up too much of that. I think it's uh, because of this reconciliation, because of this coming together, again, regardless of, whether it's a love relationship, or the relationship moving into a next level, or a reconnection of a broken relationship or family relationship somehow. I think that once this occurs, um, there's an appreciation. This coupling of cards together represents a holding on to this feeling of good times, kind of more of an appreciation of what you have now, um, that you didn't have. I think for some of you, I'm just getting the message that you have an appreciation now, and perhaps that's where this Ace of Swords and Eight of Swords comes in, this shifting of perspective or ideas. You have an appreciation now for what you had and what you have now, this renewal of it that you didn't have before. So it's a very good combination of cards. The whole reading is kind of geared towards this. It's like it's telling this this story, and it has a very nice feeling about it all the way through. Now, towards or at the end of the month, we wrap up with another lovely combination of cards. We have the Sun card, a major arcana card, paired with the Queen of Wands. And the Sun card speaks of well, think of everything that the sun brings. It brings light, warmth, happiness. This is what encourages things to grow, the light of the sun. It also speaks of nothing being hidden, of behaving in a transparent manner so everyone can see what you're doing. And I think for some of you, an underlying effect of this card is that this reconciliation, this coming together, this moving into a new level, this appreciation and happiness for what you have now versus this place that you were in before, perhaps where you didn't appreciate it, or you took it for granted, and all of a sudden you're realizing it now. I think is for some of you, this could be obvious. To other people, it's just going to be something that it's radiating out from you. The sun overall also represents having more fun. It represents a lightening and a loosening. I often take a deep breath when I see this card and when I pick it up, because I always feel there's a sensation of being able to breathe a little deeper. In a business or finance reading, for those of you who perhaps have had your finances have been very tight lately, this would represent kind of a loosening of that, an easing up, a lightening, a lifting sort of feeling around this card. It's a beautiful card to have. And it's paired with the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands is, and two, I'd like to point out that you have two queens in this reading, also in an upright position, which speaks of having, this Queen of Pentacles, however it resonates in your life, either as you or the person that you're coming back together again with, or your relationship is moving into the next level with. You have two queens together, which speaks of, these queens being separate individuals in your life, being very supportive and really being allies in your corner, however it resonates for you. That Queen of Pentacles could represent a man or a woman of an earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, or just someone who manifests those traits strongly in their personality. And then we have this Queen of Wands who could represent wands, the element being fire and air. It could represent a fire sign, which would be Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, or an air sign, which would be Gemini, Virgo, or Aquarius, or somebody who just manifests the traits of those signs. The Queen of Wands is she's a go-getter sort of person. She likes to be the center of attention, and she is naturally the center of attention because she's the one that brings life and color and enthusiasm with her wherever she goes. So perhaps if this is resonating as you, or if maybe you just have you could also have a lot of fire energy in your natal chart. But this represents, for others, it's just going to represent another person in your life, or you feeling or manifesting these traits. The Queen of Wands is a very fiery, sometimes feisty individual, just full of life, enthusiasm. She's the life of the party. She's a very go-getter too, a very positive and uplifting sort of person. This is someone who does not rest on her laurels very often, if at all. This is someone who, once she decides what she wants, she immediately gets up and goes after it. She's a very active, motivated person. And the wands itself is a suit that points towards change, movement, action, power. It's a very action-oriented suit. Sometimes this person can come across as a little too aggressive or assertive and with a tendency to kind of take over. So you also want to kind of be careful and watch out for that if this is resonating as you. But I think paired with the Sun card, again, I'm not sure if this is going to resonate for some of you as a separate individual in your life, or resonate for you as just kind of how you feel wrapping up the end of the month, because I'm just getting a lot of, there's just a feel in this reading, Cancer. It just looks like a lot of something, I'm just getting something about lessons being learned. There was either a break or or conflict for some reason, and there's been a coming back together again. And for some of you, this relationship that you already have, that there's been some back and forth on, is moving into a new level. And it looks like you really, and the two of you, I think, have a real appreciation for what you have now that didn't exist before. What was being taken for granted is no longer being taken for granted. And at the end of the month, you find yourself in this place where there's a lightening, a lifting up. There's a lot of, again, I'm not sure how this Queen of Wands is going to resonate, whether it's you going to be feeling this way at the end of the month. But it represents a real energy and aura of positivity. This could also represent somebody in your life, or who was involved in this situation. It could have been somebody who had a direct impact on the coming together, the bringing together of you with this other person, or for those of you who are in a relationship that has moved into the next level or is in the process of moving into the next level. This could represent as an actual person who played a significant role in that. Perhaps for some of you, you were in counseling, and this could represent the therapist. But just somebody who played a major role in helping this process along. And the feeling, the words that are coming to my mind is a strong ally. I think this person, for those of you resonating as another individual in your life, this is somebody who's a very strong ally, someone who really has your back, and someone who's been very active in supporting you and active in helping you in some very tangible ways too, along with this Queen of Pentacles as well. So what a lovely positive reading it's been so far. It looks like just the rebirth of something you thought was dead, or a relationship that you thought may have been irreversibly or irrevocably broken. It looks like there's been a reconciliation and a coming together. and just an underlying sense of gratitude and appreciation, even for those of you for whom it's been a current relationship that's had some problems and you're now moving into the next level. Something's happened, you've had some kind of breakthrough and you're moving ahead. Now, the overall card and general theme of the month that you got was the Six of Swords. Again, these mental cards and emotional cards, a lot of thoughts going on too for you this month. Just a real shifting, and I'm just getting a feeling of elevation and growth and an enlightening and an illumination. So good for you, Cancer. So here we have the Six of Swords, and the Swords, Six of Swords is a leaving card, and not in a negative way, especially considering this reading. It's a moving away card that represents moving from troubled waters into more serene and peaceful waters. There can be an underlying theme to this card. It feels like a more somber and serious card than some of the other leaving cards in the tarot, but it represents a healing. And I think that's kind of the underlying theme of this whole month. Whatever this shift or change that has occurred in this relationship, one broken coming back together again, lovers reuniting, perhaps a family member that you have been estranged from coming back together again, a relationship that's been kind of rocky, some perspective has shifted, you're moving into the next level, and you have this greater appreciation. But there's been, it's been born out of challenge and difficulty and pain, and this represents a moving out of that arena and into a more peaceful and harmonious. And again, I'm just getting this underlying appreciation and gratitude. The Six of Swords represents a healing time. It's now time for the healing process to be gone through. Um, Let me just take a look and see if I can get anything else. Yeah, the Six of Swords also represents a loss that either has been gotten over or again, there's been a reconciliation. So, yeah, I think that's it, Cancer. What a lovely reading. It looks like that you have done a lot of hard work and have really come to a place where I feel like not just the relationship itself is moving to another level or there's been a reconciliation, but I feel like within yourself, Cancer, there's been some work done and there's been an elevation and a moving on to another level of your own truth and your own growth as a human being. So good for you. That's always a wonderful thing. Uh, and I think part of our purpose here is to continue to grow and elevate to higher and higher levels as human beings. So I hope this reading has resonated for you somewhat, Cancer, or given you some wisdom and insight and clarity on your path. It looks like a very insightful and contemplative month for you, but a happy one too. And it looks like one of appreciation and gratitude for what you now have. So I'm happy to see this for you, and I'll be happier to see it continue as the weeks and months unfold. Uh, so I will see you in the mid-month readings. And again, if any of you care to have a personal reading or would like to know about the specials for love readings for the month of February 2016, you can click on the About button or email me at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. And as I always say, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thank you for watching, Cancer, and I'll see you in a few weeks for the mid-month reading. Bye.